Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women. Will you help us? Our prison ministry is trying to reach women with sons and or brothers in prison. We would like for these women to help us with our ministry and halt the growing population of incarcerated men. If you know of someone with a loved one in prison, please contact us at 734-686-1444 or email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. We must teach men to read to keep them from entering prison or before they leave prison. Men are now entering prison for killing their children. This has to stop. If we can reduce these murders by teaching men to read, to think clearly, and to manage their emotions. Edward James Olmos said, education is a vaccine for violence. We must do everything we can in our power to stop these heinous murders. Please reach out to us. When we work together, we win.
Today, I choose love. From my past, my future, to my family and friends, I choose love. With everything we've got going on in the world today, all the hate and negativity, love is all we have, and it's all we need. If you can start each day with love, you will watch your world change. But the time is now to forgive, to forget, to move on. Do this and your perspective will change. If I know one thing, I would rather live in a world with love and openness than a world full of pain. And it's our choice to believe in something bigger than us. One world, one people, one love.
Is your community plagued with violence and confusion? Part of the violence is due to men being returned from prison, ill prepared to assimilate in today's society. These men have sat in prison for 5, 10, or 15 years without intensive therapy or educational opportunities, yet they are paroled into our communities without money, training, jobs, or family support, and they are expected to find a job and compete. These men are ill prepared to resume their lives in a constructive manner as fathers, husbands, and sons because most cannot read or write. They need to be helped while they are in prison. Please watch the following video and see how your community can be transformed when we educate men while they are in prison. The Wall Project is a program that will help your congregation and give your members hope for their loved ones because no matter what a man has done to put him in prison, there is someone on the outside who loves him and wishes him well. Hundreds of men and women in your congregation are suffering because their sons and daughters are in prison and they do not know how to help them. These people can be given hope through the Wall Project. Hope is possible, but we must be prepared to meet evil forces with change at every turn. That is the work of the church. The church must stand when others do not. People look to the church for leadership and resolve. The devil told God there would come a time when man would not be able to stand. We have designed a reading program to make the devil a liar. The Wall Project consists of the distribution of books to all male prisoners in the United States in both state and federal prisons. This is a monumental task, but we are committed to bringing the Word of God to the men living behind bars. The Wall Project was designed to intervene in a prisoner's life while he or she is in prison so that the person can begin the process of rehabilitating his or her soul. The book can also provide spiritual help to individuals on probation or in rehabilitation centers. These books are the tools that a person can use to build inner strength. Our goal is to have men understand how important men are to the family structure. The purpose of the Wall Project is to remind man of who he is and to establish a foundation that will lead him back to God. We have found the only force on this earth with enough power to deal with violent behavior. To turn it around is the gospel of Jesus Christ. A variety of topics are briefly discussed, such as fatherhood, imprisonment, and the labor market. Finally, the reader is told you are now faced with the most important decision that you will ever make in your life. You must decide to either accept God or reject God. What are you going to do? Are you going to reach out and try and live a better life? Or are you going to continue to allow greed and errant thoughts to govern your behavior and dictate your actions? The reader is asked to think about change, to imagine life as a new person. What will happen if change is brought about into your life? What will happen if you change the way you think or change the way you treat your fellow man? What will happen if you face your fears and change toward your family? There are 1.5 million men sitting in prison in the United States. This number is obscene. This number reflects in part the number of children without fathers and the number of women living in this country without husbands. This number also reflects the economical disparity in the workplace. We as Americans must correct this situation. We cannot let another generation of males grow up to become prisoners. No man should be allowed to sit in prison and eat a daily dose of despair. Trying to distribute copies of The Wall, The Devil's Cauldron, You Are the Prophet of Your Life, It is Time to Start Walking with God, and If You Believe in God, You Do Not Belong in Prison. 5 abusive intervention books aimed at men in prison for acts of violence. Our goal is to get copies to incarcerated men throughout the country. The book The Wall was written in response to the numerous repeated violent offenders who expressed a need for help in breaking the self-destructive behavior that has marred their lives. The Wall is designed to help men recognize mental strongholds and patterns of behavior that cause them to lash out in violence. It also offers an alternative solution for managing many of life's difficulties that prevent men from fulfilling their full potential. These men are the fathers, sons, and brothers needed in our homes. We hope to restore these men, restore the family, and heal the wounds caused by violence. The Wall was written to provide food for your thoughts and to allow you to feast on God's Word and to inspire you to think and to give you strength and to help you when the hour is dark and to let you know that God you serve is a God of the impossible. God is with you. No matter who you are or where you are, God is with you. God wants you to believe in Him. When God calls, your deliverance is at hand. Follow the voice within when you hear God's call, because God is now calling you. We believe that a word from God comes when a man changes. We believe that when a man changes the way he eats, changes the way he speaks, and changes the way he treats his fellow man, change comes into his life through the Word of God. This change in mankind is brought about when one examines his or her attitude. A person's attitude is a reflection of what he or she thinks. It is true that you are what you eat, but it is equally true that you are what you think. If you think you are a nobody, then you will act like a nobody and treat others with disrespect. If you think you are a somebody, then you will act like a somebody and treat others equally. If man changes the way he thinks, he will change the way he lives. Take a real good look at this picture and ask yourself, is this the way that God said he wanted man to live? Burdened by chains and faced with guns. Parole is the luck of the draw. A man says, if you let me out of prison, I won't do it again. I feel remorse for my past deeds and I plan to live a better life if I am paroled. It is possible that he may mean this very words he's speaking to the parole board, but his behavior after he is released belies his intentions. Inherent in a man's application for parole is that he must have the tools and or community support to keep his promise. A parolee may not have control over his circumstances. Consequently, he may or may not be able to control his future behavior. Most parolees return to the community unskilled, unemployed, homeless, and penniless. This is the same situation he or she was in when they committed their first crime. Their future is bleak. As long as there is a parole system or sentence limitation, our society needs to engage in activities that will rehabilitate prisoners. In the state of Michigan, during the last 6 months of the year 2002, 4 parolees murdered 7 people on 3 different occasions. The parolees' behavior destroyed the lives of a number of people. Now there are children left without fathers, wives left without husbands, and families left without family members. In 2003, a man was paroled from prison only to murder his ex-wife and 2 of her children within a week of parole. Society can no longer lock men up for their crimes and not attempt some rehabilitation. More and more men and women and children will continue to be assaulted and or murdered by parolees if society does not attempt rehabilitation. Citizens must speak up through their actions. Clinching these prison bars probably has a son or daughter who loves them very much. His children hope and pray that he will change and become a part of their lives. He may want to change, but unless we give him the tools, that wish will never be realized. In our books, God is introduced to the reader through his characteristics and power. His existence is related to the conflict poor thinkers experience. The reader is given an option. He can pretend that God does not exist, or he can acknowledge God's existence and err on the side of caution. The reader is told either decision carries a price. In some of our books, a proof is offered of the existence of God through the life of King Balak and the prophet. King Balak's problem-solving skills and his successes and failures are examined. Look at the space we are using to cage men in prison. Are you not disturbed by this picture? We are spending more money housing men in prison than we are spending money on education, all because some people in this country do not want to share the marketplace. Why are over half the men in prison illiterate? The lack of education is one way of keeping men enslaved. Why is a man in prison a throwaway person? I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Now for my break.
The dictionary defines a prophet as a person regarded as an inspired teacher, one who proclaims the will of God. Now as a person, have you asked yourself what inspires you? Where does your inspiration come from and what do you proclaim over your life? There are lots of misconceptions about what destiny is. But you need to know that you're the one who decides what your destiny would be. If a man, for instance, goes out with a table knife and stabs another man deliberately, he has proclaimed prison sentence upon himself. It's that simple. Our destiny evolves every day because of the choices we make. And that is why, as the prophet of your life, you can choose to draw inspiration from the Word of God, teach yourself godly values, proclaim good things over your life and work towards the achievement you desire. You are where you are today because of the choices you made yesterday, and if you want your situation to change, you must start making decisions based on where you want to be or what you want to achieve. Remember also, that life is not fair to anyone. It doesn't give you what you deserve but what you desire. So it is important to work towards your desires every time, irrespective of the situation around you. Do not let anything limit you. Stand up for yourself and be the man you have always wanted to be.
What we need to focus on now is bringing positive energy into the world. The energy that we project every day is the same energy that we get back. We've all seen those people that can walk into a room and they glow. People want to be around them. People feel better being in their presence. That's the energy that we need to create. And once we learn how to do this, our life will be filled with greatness. We will attract that positive energy. And how we do this is by changing our outlook, leading every day with gratitude, thankfulness, optimism. And once you do this, you will see the change. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. Think about everything positive in your life. Family, friends, a career, your faith. All of this is how you start your day. Every morning you wake up, I want you to think about what is positive in your life. I want you to list 10 reasons of why your life is amazing. And once you do this, you will see the change. You will be the change. You will begin to attract life's blessings. Lead with gratitude. Be thankful. And think positive. I think one thing we can all agree on is how important it is to find time in your life to grow with your personal development, your hobbies, with your profession, to step outside of your routine to explore. We cannot grow. We cannot expect change unless we are willing to try something new. And that's what I want you to focus on right now. Are you willing to step outside of your comfort zone? Are you willing to try something new regardless of the outcome? Because even when you try and you might not succeed, you still grow from the experience. That's what life is about. Being comfortable even when you're not comfortable. And I promise you, once you start to take those chances, you will begin to attract new opportunities into your life. But trust me, this step is never easy. But what you need to focus on is the end result. Are you content with staying the same Or are you looking for growth? Are you looking for change? Are you looking for opportunity? If you are, this is how you do it. You need to grow. Having a goal or a plan to accomplish something isn't enough. You need to dig deeper than that. You need to tap into your subconscious to begin to reprogram your mind. And you do this through positive affirmations. Short statements that you repeat every day, regardless of your goal, how big or little. Whether your goal is to make more money, be a better boyfriend or girlfriend, or find a better job, whatever your goal is, you need to come up with short positive statements about that goal and repeat it each morning. Start by doing this for 5 minutes. And once you begin to do this, you will start to see how the subconscious and conscious mind can work together. You have the potential to do amazing things. And through positive affirmations, you start to build that confidence. Think of all the goals that you've made in the past. Think about the mindset you were in at that moment. It was one of confidence and control. I will be successful in my job. I will make my next promotion. I will meet the love of my life. These are words of affirmation. Now tell me, what are your words?
God wants his sons to return to him. In some of the books, we discuss the life and trials of the prophet Ezekiel. The call for man to return to God has gone out throughout the land. God is sitting and waiting man's decision. Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Israel. So hear the word I speak and give them warning for me. When I say to the wicked, O wicked man, you will surely die, and you do not speak out to dissuade him from his ways, that wicked man will die for his sins, and I will hold you accountable for his blood. But if you do warn the wicked man to turn from his ways, and he does not do so, he will die for his sins, but you will have saved yourself. A man killed 5 people in Florida and 3 people in Louisiana. During his interrogation, he said he murdered these people because of the way he was treated in prison. He was sentenced to death for the murders and executed in 2006. Many people have asked the question, how do you find God? The reader is told to empty his or her mind of erroneous thoughts and to seek God through reading his word. Our books were not written to beat people over the head with religion. Our books were written to persuade men and women to take a look at how they are conducting their lives and to change. We have taken everyday situations and woven these situations into examples to be considered as alternative methods of earning a living, rearing children, and taking a lead in one's life. Mistake is only a mistake if a person does not learn from that occasion. Our books teach that we are to grow from our errors, and the Word of God is the most effective tool we can use to change our lives. Order one of our books today and see if reading it does not change your perspective on life. Our books were written to educate people. We use our books so a person can gain knowledge into their behavior that leads to a better life and to a clear way of thinking. Nothing controls a man but his thoughts. Our books impart that if one picks the right path, rewards will last a lifetime and joy can be seen on the face of the man's child. We also teach behavior to avoid, and we teach resurrection of the spirit is possible in all environments. And our books teach 99% of life is preparation. We all know crack cocaine and other drugs are destroying our communities. Yet we must mount an all out assault to try and save men from drugs while they are in prison. Look at the next two slides and see the before and after pictures of individuals who have used crack cocaine. Men addicted to crack cocaine have committed some of the most heinous crimes ever imagined. We must stand up against this violence. Yes, we ask that you either email us for a copy of the Wall Project or you go to the YouTube channel Touched by the Light Publishing and download a copy of the Wall Project. Then we ask that you email these videos to friends and families and ask that they share this information with others. We also ask that you put this information on your church bulletin and ask people to go to our site and watch the Wall video. And please share this information with friends, families, co-workers, sororities, etc. Thank you. Too many lives are being destroyed by drugs. The church must make a stand. We need your help. We are asking churches and civic groups and all who care to purchase a book for a prisoner. We believe that a prisoner should be given intensive training while in prison so that once paroled, he will have confidence in the future and not fear. To find out more about this and other projects, please contact us at email address murderedvoices@gmail.com. God said that he would go down to hell to find his lost sheep. We are just following his example. All we ask is that you go to the website touchedbythelight.us and click on the link The Wall Project and purchase one of the violent intervention books listed under the Wall Project. You can read excerpts from the 5 books by clicking on either the link or the book cover. Your actions may help save a life and bring comfort to an innocent man who has been placed in prison. Our books can be seen on the website touchedbythelight.us. That's TOUCHED by the light.us. You can read the first chapter of each book by clicking on the book cover. This way you can spend time with the book before you make a purchase. Also, you may want to purchase a set of these books for your family. On behalf of the staff at the Christian Booksellers, we thank you for taking the time out of your day to view our presentation. We hope that you feel the same way we do, that something must be done to relieve the suffering of women and children. That relief will come by returning men to the home. One way to accomplish this goal is to provide inspirational material to those that are lost. Please join us so we can stop the flow of men returning to prison. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, "It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." Now for my break.
Life is too short for you to be unhappy. Life is too short for you to surround yourself with anything but positivity. And that's what we need to talk about now, dealing with toxic people. Now, we can't change all of our relationships, but we can change some. Some of us might come from families that are not supportive, and some of us come from families and have friends that are very supportive. And that's what we need to figure out now. Who is helping you? Who truly supports you as a person? Who wishes you all the success in the world? Those are the people you need to be around. Those are the people you need to stay connected with. I want you to think about 5 people that you talk to or hang out with the most. Of those 5 people, how many of them are positive influences on your life? How many of those people are helping you build the foundation to your success? And for the people who are not, are you willing to cut them out of your life? Is it worth having people around you that don't believe in you? Positive thoughts attract positive outcomes. And until you can change who you let around you and how much they influence you, you will continue down the same path. But the time is now. You can no longer let negative influences impact your goals. Your new chapter starts right now. Think about the positive people. Think about building with them, connecting with them, because they will be the positive influence that you need to help succeed in your life. They will be the driving force for you to live your best life.
Are you sick and tired of being you? Do you want another life, a second chance? Then it's time to change. It's time for you to find out who you are. It's time for you to stand up for yourself. It's time for you to think for yourself. It's time to rid your mind of poisonous beliefs like women should only be seen and not heard. It's time for you to learn how other women accomplished their goals. For more information regarding Women of Courage and to be among the countless women learning to manage the challenges, limitations, and rejections of life, go to https://touchedbythelight.us. Do you know why your life is in the toilet? Do you know why no one likes you? Do you know why your dog left you and your mother is not speaking? Or why your girlfriend left you? Or why you can't hold a job more than 90 days? Do you want to know why every lunch hour you find yourself sitting in your car drinking a beer? You're addicted to cigarettes and alcohol, and how many times have you overdosed on pills? Your problems stem from a lack of knowledge. Your thinking is distorted. You do not know how to manage your life. You've got a secret, and that secret is killing you. You're hiding the fact that you do not read or you cannot read. Face it, have the courage to tell yourself you cannot read. This is your first step towards change. By not reading, you are refusing to change. You are satisfied living the same old life day in and day out, making excuses for yourself while other people pass you by. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. President Obama. Get your life back on track by learning to read. Reading is your first step towards a better life. Stop being envious and jealous. Learn to read. Join us every Friday at Women of Courage to gain information that will help you manage your life. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela. You must read as if your life depends on it, because it does. Twice a month on Saturday, I meet with my listeners for a discussion about issues affecting women. Join us. For dates, times, and directions, you can reach us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. Stop thinking there's nothing you can do to change the world. Your life is important. For more information on our books or subjects discussed, email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com.
Prisons are meant to serve as correctional facilities for inmates so they can lead meaningful lives after their release. At The Wall Project, it is our desire to see that they are well rehabilitated and ready to start their lives over again. To this end, we need your support to help purchase a set of books at $75 for a male prisoner or at $85 for a female prisoner. We believe we can change their lives, one book at a time. Reading teaches discipline. Reading tells you about another man's courage. Reading will tell you how to correct some of the mistakes in your life. Reading will help you solve life's problems. Reading will teach you how to find a job. Reading can help you learn a new profession or trade. Reading will help you improve your health. When you do not read, you wager your life's savings trying to win big at the casino. If you have a brother, sister or son or daughter in prison, why not send them some serious literature to read? Books that will show them how to change their lives by changing the way they think. If you are truly interested in helping your son or daughter or sister or brother, reach out to us by emailing us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. We can tell you all about the program. We welcome the opportunity to send you information on how you can help your son or daughter.
This is a congratulations and a shout out to the Women of Courage show. Starting in July, we will be publishing articles in the Native Sun and the Highland Park Journal. The editors of both papers agreed to allow us to publish articles in their papers. In keeping with our mission, the articles will detail information regarding 4 linking subjects: reading, self-esteem, sexual abuse, and sex trafficking. To support our mission to bring you information on these subjects, we will appreciate it if you would advertise in these papers. These newspapers support us, we should support them. Give us a shout out at murderedvoices@gmail.com if you read, enjoy, and find our articles helpful. We thank you for listening and supporting our show. Our show could not have a greater audience. Don't forget to email us for dates, times, and locations for our Saturday meetings. God bless. Dear listeners, help us save a life. Stop breast cancer from taking lives. Will you assist us in putting the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer in the hands of a million people? Please go to the website www.touchedbythelight.us and download the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. Then email this booklet to 5 friends, asking them to email the booklet to 5 of their friends. We are trying to reach a million women with this information to save lives. The death of one woman to breast cancer from our community is one woman too many. We thank you for your support. Will you help us? Our prison ministry is trying to reach women with sons and or brothers in prison. We would like for these women to help us with our ministry and halt the growing population of incarcerated men. If you know of someone with a loved one in prison, please contact us at 734-686-1444 or email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. We must teach men to read, to keep them from entering prison or before they leave prison. Men are now entering prison for killing their children. This has to stop. If we can reduce these murders by teaching men to read, to think clearly, and to manage their emotions. Edward James Olmos said, "Education is a vaccine for violence." We must do everything we can in our power to stop these heinous murders. Please reach out to us. When we work together, we win.
I have an important question for you. Do you love Jesus? I mean, do you really love Jesus? Jesus said, "I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me." It's easy for us to live our daily lives and not think of those locked away in prison who need the love of Christ. Remember, Jesus died for them too. And there is a way you can extend his love to them right where you are, without a big sacrifice in time or money. And I'll tell you how in just a few moments from now. Often when men end up in prison, they are leaving families behind. We live in a time when there is a generation of children who often do not have a father at home for a variety of reasons. But when those fathers are in prison, we can reach them. You see, many men in prison are illiterate and not prepared for life on the outside of prison, which leads to reoffending, damage to our communities, and even further damage to the families they leave behind. You can be sure that they need to hear and accept the gospel as well. And we have something special that you can be a part of to address both of those issues. It's called The Wall. The Wall provides books to prisoners so that they can learn how to read and be better prepared for life in the real world. But what's more, these books share the gospel and practical information to help in various aspects of real life. The Wall addresses life today as well as our eternal hope for tomorrow. To make this project reach as many people as possible, your help is needed. A small donation will go a long way to get these books into the hands of people who need them the most. Imagine what it would be like to be in heaven and meet someone who told you that a book that you helped place in their hands was key to helping them for being prepared for life outside of prison. Help them be better husbands and fathers, and most importantly, led them to Christ. You can have that impact today. You may be watching this at your church today and possibly have a representative there right now. If so, open your heart and give what you can, and be sure to talk about sponsorship opportunities for a full book pack. If you are watching this online or in a setting without a representative, simply go to www.touchedbythelight.org and help make a difference right now that will make an impact for today as well as eternity.
Menzies Salon and Spa is now offering $25 flat irons Tuesdays and $55 relaxer, touch-up, trim, style included on Wednesdays. Full body massage for $29. Barbara's on duty. Menzies Salon and Spa is a full-service spa and salon located at 22884 Ryan at 9 Mile Road in Warren, Michigan. Call 586-510-4545.
Become a sponsor of the Women of Courage show by inviting 10 women for a pleasant afternoon to listen to us speak at your venue. Help us change our community to one of peace and harmony. The Women of Courage show is supported by the Women and Children's Restoration Ministries to help women problem solve and to help women realize their dreams. Women should believe that anything is possible. Our sole purpose is the restoration of injured women, both physically and mentally. We meet twice a month on Saturday at a local restaurant to discuss subjects germane to women. We see 5 main problems of Black women that we must solve ourselves. One is the sexual abuse of children, bringing unrelated males into the home and fail to notice changes in behavior. Rape and murder of Black women, failure to learn the warning signs, breast cancer, which is a failure to be examined, sex trafficking of Black women, accepting prostitution as a way of life, economic trials of Black women due to the inability to read or lack of education. Learn how to sponsor the Women of Courage show by speaking to our spokesperson, Renee of WHPR. She can be reached at renee88.1fm@gmail.com. I repeat, renee88.1fm@gmail.com. She will tell you all about it, or you can leave a message at the number 734-686-1444. Thank you.
Reverend Dennis Graham, And we've got an interesting program going on here. We're training returning citizens and low income how to do industrial aerospace welding. And we're looking for more people to come in, and we're looking for investors, anybody that wants to sponsor. And we're offering this to the low income and the returning citizens for free so that they can get a step up in life and get an actual good career with a sustainable position in a sustainable job.
Twice a month on Saturday, I meet with my listeners for a discussion about issues affecting women. Join us. For dates, times, and directions, you can reach us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. Stop thinking there's nothing you can do to change the world. Your life is important. For more information on our books or subjects discussed, email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com.
Remember, in an earlier broadcast, we discussed the word repetition. At that time, I told you that repetition was extremely important in learning. In other words, the more you recited things to yourself, the better off you would be in terms of learning that information that you wanted to learn. But what I did not tell you is that it has the opposite effect if you are giving yourself information that is negative. Then repetition works against you. Now, repetition is the secret to successful learning. The word repetition means to repeat. So this means every time you repeat something to yourself that is negative, you are learning. You are learning negativity. Repetition is a secret to successful learning. The word repetition means to repeat, which means that every time you repeat something negative to yourself, you are learning. You are learning something negative. The word repetition is a noun. It means the action of repeating something that has already been said or written. Also, the recurrence of an action or event, a thing repeated. A piece that was set by a teacher for you to learn by heart and to recite. As you can see, repetition is a great device to use with respect to learning. Say a single cycle of lifting and lowering a weight is called strength training and is also called a repetition. The military uses repetition to improve training and learning. You learn by repeating a word, a phrase, or a sentence. The repetition or restatement of an idea at intervals not only promotes clarity, but it encourages acceptance of an idea. Listen to me say this again. The repetition of an idea at intervals not only promotes clarity, but it encourages the acceptance of an idea. So telling yourself you are stupid over and over again reinforces your belief in this statement. When you repeat and emphasize one idea, competing ideas are subordinated and sometimes driven out completely of your mind. So by talking to yourself negatively, you are driving out all the positive thoughts of your mind. Does this make any sense to you? Do you see that you're acting counterproductive to yourself when you talk to yourself negatively? Repetition is a powerful force in learning. Notice how children are able to recite characters from a story that you have read to them over and over again. They can recite these words with great clarity. When words are repeated at short and long lags, and people are required to recall them, the probability of recall increases as the distance between the repetition increases. The most ancient An effective learning tool ever devised by man is the powerful principle of repetition. So if you're going to induce yourself to learn, then feed your mind positive information. Intentional repetition is a powerful tool. It can be used to make your point. Repetition works. Human beings somehow need to see, hear, and do things again and again in order to acquire any kind of growth or self-improvement. Repetition is essential when it involves memorizing our multiplication table, learning to drive a car, or developing a six-pack of abs. So what are you going to do with this information I just gave you? We are going to repeat these ideas to give you a second and third chance to consider what we are saying. If you're going to induce yourself to learn, then feed your mind positive information. You must begin paying attention to the conversations that you are constantly having with yourself and others. Regurgitating the same phrases over and over again in your life causes you to live the same old life. Getting up in the morning, telling yourself it's going to rain, it will be one horrible day. Why would you do this to yourself? Why forecast gloom and doom into your life? You woke up. Why not be glad that you just woke up? How do you know it's going to be a horrible day? What special talents do you have to forecast your future? You're setting yourself up to be miserable just because it's raining. You are letting a natural occurrence control your behavior and your thought life. You can be offered a job on a rainy day. You can meet an old friend on a rainy day. You can have a wonderful lunch sitting by the ocean on a rainy day. Why close off your life with negative thinking? You can stop this type of behavior by realizing you are in control of what you think. And it is positive thinking that will change your life for the better. The world will send you downhill. The world will depress you. And the world will make you believe that your situation is hopeless. To fight all of the depressing things you are told every day, you must plant the words in your heart and prophesize health and wealth to yourself. You become overwhelmed with negative people in your life, leave them and do not allow them to return to your life. Stop calling them and stop answering their phone calls. Soon what you say will become what you will believe, and you will see the results of that belief in your life. You will hear yourself, I can do this. This is not such a big problem. I can go back to school and I can get a better job. What benefit do you derive from always telling yourself failure is right around the corner? What does it benefit you by telling yourself you cannot return to school, that you cannot apply for a better job? How does this benefit you by telling yourself you will never get married, that no woman will want to be your wife? Negativity benefits no one. You need to read You Are the Prophet of Your Life and turn your life around.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Renee stepping out on faith. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
On behalf of the staff of Touched by the Light Publishing, we thank you for taking the time out of your day to view our presentation. Caring for the old, the infirm, the mentally and physically handicapped, and the incarcerated is the work of the church. Help us by purchasing a set of books. You may be giving comfort to an innocent man. We hope that you feel the same way we do, that something must be done to relieve the suffering of women and children. That relief will come by returning men to the home. One way to accomplish this goal is to provide inspirational material to those who are lost. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Women of Courage, and have a great day.
Yeah.